Hello guys, welcome to another video. Like originally I was going to have a several part video explaining every single word I'm using, like special word when I'm power scaling. But then I remembered that it would be kind of boring for you guys, for at least for some of you that don't really are interested in things like that. So I figured that instead of using like the next 4 weeks or just make 4 separate videos, I'm just going to make one video explaining absolutely every word that I'm using when I'm power scaling. And it's actually not all that many. Like also today I'm only going to cover the words which are like kind of special, so things like tons of TNT and tons of force. I think most of you probably know what I mean when I'm saying things like that. So yeah, I'm only going to cover the words that are special to like this theme of power scaling. So with that out of the way, let's begin with the video. So let's start off with my personal favorite thing in power scaling, being tune force. This is probably a thing you maybe have heard about before. Why? Because that's the powered Bugs Bunny use, that he's like absolutely breaking reality. You know, things like when, I don't know, he saw like America in tune? What about the time he become the animator or just takes him from behind his back? That is the magic about Toon Force. It allows a cartoon character to do basically everything and basically be gone. So far that it's funny and it's like absolutely has nothing to do with the story. That's the fun about it. It doesn't have to make sense. It just happens because it's funny. That's why I love Toon Force. But other Toon Force users, it's like the Mask and the Toon Force. These guys have both the ability to absolutely break reality far beyond the possibility of a normal being of the race. But they can do pretty much everything because it's funny when they're doing it. Like seriously, what else did you expect? Next on the list is something very similar to Toon Force, but not quite it. That being gag power. When I said that Toon Force is more like reality warping, well, gag power is more like Superman power. You know, the power to like punch really hard and like fly and just beat up crap out of really powerful beings. An example being SpongeBob. As you have shown, he doesn't really have any sort of like reality warping powers. The only problem is, take care of it, coming to that later. But anyway, as you can see, SpongeBob has never shown abilities like reality warping, so he's rather a gag being. Gag power can be so powerful that IRL, a completely normal girl, with the power of gag, are able to take out and kick around Goku and Vegeta in their god forms like the ragdolls. I'm not kidding, that was literally an entire episode in the show, literally in Dragon Ball Super, just dedicated to pretty much IRL just beating up Goku and Vegeta because it was just so funny. And that's the only weakness to the gag force. It has to be funny unless it doesn't work, sadly. But sadly, guys, some beings in our days have sadly come through that and make things that they think is funny but not. An example, Teen Titans Go. They are not funny, but for some reason they are allowed to use Toon Force and gag. I don't understand it. That's just so unfair. But anyway, gag force is almost often not regarded as powerful as reality warping because, guys, even though it's super strength and things like that is pretty cool, the ability to just change reality into your bidding is a lot better than just kicking around people. Also, I'm just going to add one more thing to this. Not all Toon Force users and Gag Force users is the same power. For example, like SpongeBob is clearly not at the same power as someone like IRL that can kick around beings that can destroy universes just with a single punch. Yeah, guys, so yeah, that is pretty much the Toon thing about power scaling. Now we're going to move on to some of the more serious things in this branch, like reality warping. I already kind of talked about how this works, but I'm just going to go in a bit more detail about this and why it's different from Toon Forest. Well, for the first thing that's different, reality warping are most often used as the power to just change reality, while Toon Force is more to like play God or something like that. That's probably the main difference between these two. And in Reality Warpers, it's most often known as two different versions of Reality Warper. And just like Toon and Gag Force, like not all Reality Warpers are at the same level. Just getting that out of the way. Well, anyway, like it's two kinds of reality warping, being the matter manipulators and the matter creators. And the difference between these two things are you can kinda compare it to how you make things of clay or something. You like someone tells you give you some clay and they say make something out of it. Our matter manipulator will take this clay and just create it like a nice vase, for example. But a matter creator can create matter out of nowhere. So then he said, no, I think I need a bit more clay if I'm going to make this nice vase. Like, do you get it? If not, too bad. Just watch it again until you get it. Anyway, that's pretty much the big difference between these two things. Like a matter manipulator will use the materials he already have, and a matter creator will just make more of it and then create something out of them. But why would you choose to be a matter creator instead of a matter manipulator? A matter creator just sounds a lot more powerful. Well, the thing is, most oftenly matter creators are very oftenly weaker than matter manipulators. Take for example Franklin Richard, which is a very powerful matter creator, and then Magium Jasper, who both of these I talked about in the top 10 strongest Marvel characters. Just check that out, but not now. See this video to the end first, then you can check it out. And anyway, Franklin, even though he can create matter out of nowhere, he still is not as powerful as Magium Jasper, and that's pretty much the difference between these two things. And I think that sums it up of reality warping. And now I'm just going to talk about a very quick one, but I just want to touch on the word highball and lowball. Like highball means that you put a character or something higher than it should be, and lowball, that means you put a character lower than it should be. For example, you can say that you can say that Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the one that fought Kid Buu, you can say that he's only a solar system buster because Majin Buu used several years to destroy an entire galaxy. But that's a low ball of him. And you can also say that he's multi-galaxy level because Kid Buu was said to destroy the universe in 1,000 years. Then you have a high ball Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Like, seriously, just low balls means that you put the character lower than it should be, and high ball higher than it should be. And that's pretty much it. On to the next. Now we're going to talk about hacks. And guys, when I say hacks, it's kind of similar to the hacks you normally see. You know, when that single Fortnite player is obviously hacking. Jack, I was dead for long ago. Why? This guy is hacking. It's pretty much that. That's just a little bit different. You see, it's not like you turn on a cheat code or anything. No, but that's literally when you feel like a character is hacking. What do I mean with that? Well, let's look at, for example, Maleficent. She can, for example, turn you into a frog. That's pretty overpowered. And that's exactly what a hack is. It's pretty much an ability that allows you to, even though yourself is weak, you can defeat much stronger opponent. Also, look at Harry Potter. He's pretty weak, but he has his magical spells. For example, Avada Kedavra, which can kill people. Yeah, that's pretty OP, or just teleport, or summon stuff, or anything like that. All of those spells are hacks. But it's a difference between a hack and an ability. For example, Goku's Kamehameha wave, that's not a hack, that's a technique which develops his power that he already has. But a hack, that's an ability that you can let to bypass someone that is that should actually be a lot stronger than you. For example, when you turn someone into a frog. That's a very good example. But I'm going to make this clear: a hack does not work on absolutely anyone. And that's what we're going to talk about in the final entry of our being a no-limit fallacy. A very good example of a no-limit fallacy is Aku from Samurai Jack. In the show, it said that only Jack's sword is capable of destroying and kill Aku. So, does that mean that if Goku tried to go up against him, that means that he would lose because he can't kill him? Of course it means that, because Goku don't have Jack's sword. What about Thanos? He is pretty powerful, but unless he can get Jack's sword, I guess he can't kill Aku. What about the one about all? He's apparently omnipotent. Well, unless that omnipotence means that he can get Jack's sword, I guess he can't beat Aku. And that is pretty much the no limits fallacy. It pretty much means that even though something is said that it can only be destroyed by one thing, it doesn't mean that no one in the world can do it. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that Arceus can take a punch from Goku in his Master Ultra Instinct form, even though he has a fighting plate that apparently protect him against fighting type moves. I'm pretty sure a punch from Goku will be a fighting type move. Do you see it? And that pretty much ties in with a hack. Even though a hack can work at someone, at some point in their power, they will stop working. Also, no limits fallacy. For example, if Goku turned, for example, when Buhan turned Vegeta into a candy ball, that would be a hack, because people just stop fighting when they're in a candy ball. But because of the wonderful fact in our no limit fallacy, Vegeta kept fighting even as a candy ball. He was the world's strongest candy. And yeah, so yeah, a hack and a no limit fallacy is kind of the same. Also, guys, even though Saitama can destroy every single character in this show with a single punch, that doesn't mean that he can kill every single person in every other show with also only one punch. And guys, to be honest, I think it sums it up now. I've done a lot. Didn't really do all that much research on this video, but it took some time to make. And I'm on vacation now, so I didn't really want to make a video anyway. So just please like the video, subscribe, anything that. Stay tuned until the next video. And bye-bye. Subscribe.